Hello everybody, this is Game for G27 and welcome back to the long-awaited continuation of Kart Wii is literally unplayable. I'm going to look through the retro tracks now in this video, whereas in the previous video we looked at only the Nitro Cups, so the cups that are new to Kart Wii specifically. Now we're going to have a look at the retro tracks. If you haven't seen episode 1 of this, then I would encourage you to check it out. There should be a link in the card at the top right of the screen. We're gonna get started with Peach Beach. In case you still don't understand the idea of this, these videos here, I'm going to take the camera wherever we want, and also we're gonna take a look at the shadows in the track and if they line up with the sun. So, you can see these trees here. Based on the shadows of these trees, the sun would have to come from around here, and there's no sun up there. In fact, the sun's all the way over there. Somewhere across the sea. So these shadows are definitely completely wrong. Got some more shadows over here. Don't mind the big, like, plane there. We've got these boxes which have a slight bit of shadow, and you know, the shadow is pointing roughly in the right direction of the sun right there. So that's reasonable. Let me turn so we don't see that massive thing. And now we have this structure over here, which Nintendo, I'm not sure what, like, I don't know. So the shadows of this structure here would make it seem like the sun is coming from right above, because you can see some shadow over here, which the sun would definitely shine into. If I had my character turned to the right, I could see the sun. So based on that, we'd assume the sun comes from above here. It doesn't make any sense at all. This area doesn't have shadows whatsoever. The buildings have no shadows on the floor whatsoever, so that's kind of broken. Nintendo, please fix. The start line also doesn't actually have any shadow, so that's kind of broken. While we're here, I actually want to have a look at Daisy Cruiser here, which is a track on on the GameCube. Mark a Double Dash. Of course, this is just a really low poly version of it, and there's no actual track. Looks like this, I don't know what to call this, exhaust is floating, which is interesting. Come on, Nintendo, please fix. DS Yoshi Falls is such a simple track, so let's have a look. So, these hexagonal, whatever they are, I don't know, some parasols or something, have a perfectly round shadow, which makes no sense. So there we go, we're starting off right. And the sun is basically right above us, which it's of course not. Let's have a look at where the sun actually is, if I can find it here. Oh, there it is, it's right behind us. So again, this makes no sense. Let's get rid of Lakitu here. The sun is over there, there it is. Yeah, I don't think that doesn't really make sense. The shadows all look like they come right from above. Yeah, the sun, it looks like the sun is coming from right above. Of course, Nintendo made these shadows based on how good they looked, and not really, like, actually based on the sun object location right there. So, all these trees too, it looks like the sun comes right from above, which of course it's not. SNES Ghost Valley 2 for a Spooktober. I don't think this one's gonna have any shadows, but if that's the case, right, if there's no sun, then why is the track so brightly lit up? There's seemingly no light sources on this track, and yet the track isn't complete pitch black. If we look up, there's no sun object. I don't think there should be any light source here. So Nintendo, what are you doing? N64 Mario Raceway. I don't know if the original track had any shadows, but it seems like we have a great indication right away that the sun should be coming from this direction, as the starting flag says. Oh god. Starting line clearly tells us the sun should be over there, but it's over there. Come on. The same thing happens with this I don't even know what to call this audience thing. I'm sorry, I'm not native English. Again, these shadows are being cast from a sun that's right over there. This shouldn't. Something here doesn't make any sense. Now all of a sudden we have these trees over here, which just kind of it almost looks like the sun comes from above again. which of course they don't. Just have a look at this shadow, and then the sun right over there. Yeah, come on. So here we go, N64 Sherbet Land. Now, based on this darker section right here, it would seem as if the rocks are blocking the sun, which then should be in this direction. I'm not even sure if there is a sun on this track. Oh, there is! What? It's right there! What? The sun is literally right above the track. Let's see if I can get a better view of it. It's really hard to see it, but it's right up there. Right above there. So let's have a look if the track really complies with that. This sign doesn't have any shadow whatsoever, and it's actually funny because this track has basically the entire geometry upside down underneath the actual level. So the reflections are not actually reflections, but just like a see-through texture, which allows you to see right through. That looks very interesting. Even the penguins have upside down versions. Alright, look at this cave entrance right here, or actually exit, and the bottom is completely wrong because it doesn't turn blue like the actual cave exit, and it also goes in on itself. I assume Nintendo did that so they could like end the model, but kinda doesn't really work. The same happens with the actual entrance. It's kind of hard to see, but it's definitely wrong. Nintendo forgot kind of one reflection here, because the big penguin doesn't actually have like a reflection counterpart, so there's no reflection of the big penguin. Shy Guy Beach. Now what I've noticed from these like older ported tracks is that they have a lot less scenery objects to actually leave a shadow. So here we go, the start line tells us that the sun should be straight ahead, and you know what? Hey, I think I'm gonna say that's actually a fine shadow. I think that actually works out. Yeah, you know what? That's a perfect shadow. That's perfect. I think that they finally fixed... No, they didn't. No, this one doesn't make any sense. The palm trees are still from above, but at least the starting line flag has a actual correct shadow. That's insane. I don't think we've really had like a perfect shadow before. The Shy Guy ship right here. The ship is in 3D, but the Shy Guys themselves are like 2D surfaces. Delfino Square. Already, I can see that the shadow should be coming from the left, because we can see the shadows of the buildings right here. The sun should be right up here. Nope, it's not. Let's see if we can find the sun. Oh, it's right over there. Alright then, already broken. Yeah, that's not right. So this corner should be from over here. That's not right whatsoever. Let's have a look at other places on the track. Again, it looks like the sun... No, the sun's completely wrong this time. I think the sun's coming from the right side this time, because you can see the right side building shadows. What? No, this is wrong. The statue has no shadow, which is interesting. The clock tower gives us a nice shadow, which tells us the sun should be going in this direction instead, but it's actually just complete opposite direction. I think we're used to trees at this point. Looks like the trees are again basically from above. What? These trees have like ellipses for shadows? That doesn't make any sense either. They have shadows on both sides. Wow, Luigi Stadium from the GameCube, marker double dash. The start line doesn't have a shadow. Now, this can be explained by the fact that there's so many light sources that there really isn't a shadow. But then again, this section has a darkened... What? How is this even in shadow? How are both of these sides even in shadow when there's big flippin' lights shining right on it? The start line doesn't have a shadow at all. How are these areas in shade? Like, actually, how? They're being lit up from everywhere, and there shouldn't be any shaded sections here. This too, I think the light can definitely reach it from these massive lights. The big flares are actually just flat images. Look at that. Look at this, dude. Cameraception. Oh guys, there actually is a sun on this track, kind of hidden way behind there. There is technically a setting sun. DS Desert Hills. Now, the shadows on this track don't work for a simple fact, and that is that the angry sun moves around the stage. So, yeah. However the shadows are right now, let's see. This guy should move over the level. It looks like the shadows tell us that the, yeah, the sun should be over here, right up in the sky, but it's not. Oh, there goes the sun, guys. The shadows stayed exactly the same. So this is clearly the sun's literally above the level, and there's still the shadow from these trees right from over here. Yeah. Well, this doesn't really make any sense at all anymore. Bowser Castle 3. Well, I don't think there's actually shadows in this track, except for maybe the thwomps. Let me change the camera angle so I can see the thwomps over there. I mean, the thwomps just have shadows from right above. Yeah, I don't think there's a sun on this track either. But then again, the lava might actually give off a lot of light. And it looks like just every wall has a bit of darkened edge, like ambient occlusion or something like that. So I don't think there's much to say about this track. DK's Jungle Parkway. And again, the tree shadows are from above. That seems to be a common thing at this point. Let's see if I can find the sun here. It's sunset, so I don't even know if there is a sun in this track. I looked around, but I can't really find a sun on this track. So based on the start line, the sun should be about up here in the sky, but there just isn't a sun on this track, which again doesn't make sense because these trees have very harsh visible shadows, but there just isn't a sun. GCN Mario Circuit. Let me find the sun. There it is. It's right over there. So these letters don't make any sense. The sun should be right right above these letters, but it isn't. So yeah, already it's just plain wrong. Again, all the trees just have completely broken shadows. Like, how does that tree have a shadow all the way over here? Yeah. These ones too? Look at how massive those shadows are. That's not how it works. The sun would have to be like right above the tree in order for the shadow to be that big. SNES Mario Circuit 3. I don't think this track has any shadows whatsoever. Except for some like ambient occlusion again. There isn't anything on this track that should have shadows, just like BC3. Except there's obviously, you know, a missing shadow for the start flag. It's not really a flag, is it? The sign. There's also no sun on this track. DSP Gardens. It appears that this track has no shadows except for this part right here, which is, I think, another just top-down shadow. The sun's coming from over here, so there's no way that this part could be in shadow, because the sun should shine right into here. Come on. Other than that, there really aren't many shadows. There's this dark section, which is probably for the start line again, but that's wrong, because the sun should still come through here. The big statue has no shadow, it just has more like ambient occlusion type thing. It has a darker side, which is actually the side that's pointing towards the sun. So, what? GCN DK Mountain. As you can see, the sun is right over there. So let's have a look at how that's supposed to work. This area of the mountain is in the shade, which is actually the correct part. However, these shadows don't make any sense because, again, for trees, the sun doesn't come from above, it comes from over there. Other than that, the parts of the track that are supposed to be in shadow aren't actually darker, so well done Nintendo for doing that correctly. Again, they messed up with the foliage. Last and most certainly least, we have N64 Bowser Castle. So this track has a bunch of shadows over here for these towers, but there isn't a sun. Come on, Nintendo. And over here, this part of the track's in the shade, which would make you think the sun comes from this direction. But the same's going off this wall, so that I don't even know where the sun is. Maybe it's diagonally over here, which it isn't. Here's another case of there being shadows, but no sun. Like there's shadow here and there, and there's just no light source. And then here we have these windows, which looks like there's rays of sunlight shining through them, but there is no sun over here. Here too, the spiral section. It looks like the tower indicates a sun over in this direction. It's all over the place, but there really isn't a sun. They even made part of this wall dark. The sun should be over here, but then again, we have these with the shadow on this side. Nintendo doesn't know what they're doing. Now, of course they know what they're doing. It makes it look better for the user, and so that's why they did this. But that's gonna wrap up this episode of Mario Kart Wii is literally unplayable. I hope you guys enjoyed. Leave your responses down in the comment section below. Hopefully we're gonna have less people not understanding how sarcasm works, like in the last video, because that comment section is filled with people who like, how is this unplayable? It's a game from 2008, doesn't need the perfect graphics. But anyway, hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you guys in the next video.